When I designed my own family tartan, I wasn't ready for the surprises in store. But when I found out what it took from the sheep in the field to the finished tartan, it blew my mind. Have you any idea what's involved in the incredible journey from shearing to shelf? If you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen. And if you enjoy the video, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. It's Bruce Fummey here. Now, some of you will have seen the journey of discovery that I went on to design my Fummey family tartan. Today, we're going on a different journey. This time, to trace every step of the process of making that tartan. The weaving, the finishing, but we start by meeting up with my old mucker Forbes Gold here down the road from me at Standingfold Farm near Braco.
Hello.
How you doing? Because if we're going to make tartan, we need to start with the raw material. And currently, that's in the backs of some sheep out in the field. Shall we go and get them?
We'll go and get them.
There we go. Okay, so it seems like I'm not going to be part of getting the sheep in. Apparently, I'm not smart enough for a skilled job like this. So they've got a dog called Isla and a shepherd called, well, who cares what the shepherd's called? Nobody stops you in the park to ask the name of your shepherd, do they? Either way, this is where the tartan journey begins. In the bottom field of Standingfold Farm with a man, a dog and a quad bike called Maisie. Okay, I made up the name of the quad bike. The point is that when we've got the sheep down at the farm, we need to separate out the fluffy wee lambs from the woolly sheep. We're going to find out there's a big difference between fluffy lamb's wool that you might use to make a scarf and tougher wool from hill sheep that you would use to make a kilt. Aye, you didn't ken that, did you? In fact, there are loads of different categories and types of wool. I had no idea before I did this. Anyway, that's a detail for later. Right now, we just need to separate out the ewes from the lambs. Come on, girl. Not you. You. Do you see what I did there? So, once I've decided which sheep are going to be sheared today and which aren't, it's time to go along to the shearing shed. First, a bit of preparation. Which blade is he going to go with today? 2 shearing stations. They take a bit of setting up, but once they're up and running, these guys are slick. I was surprised at how docile the sheep seem to be. I expected them to be kicking and bucking and fighting for their life, like they do when you see them in the chair at a Turkish barber. Or was that a kebab shop? Anyway, with the fleece sheared, it goes over to the table to be rolled and packaged up. Now, they tell me there's a way to do this and a way not to do it. Well, what they actually said was, get your hands off that fleece! But I think I know what they meant. Once the fleece is rolled, then it's into the big bag. Now, they'll be at this all morning and then they'll go out to the field and get another batch of sheep in and they'll go through it all again. One of the things that affected the plan today was that it rained last night and they had to wait until the sheep dried out. You see, damp wool can decay in the bags over time and we don't want that, as you'll see in the next stage of the journey. Now, the next stage of the journey takes us to Selkirk and the British Wool Sorting Depot. It's kind of like a cooperative where 30,000 farms throughout the UK send their wool to be sorted. This depot is the second biggest in the country. The bags leave the farm and come here to be sorted. One for the market and one for the dame, and 4.5 million kilos for the little boy who lives down the lane. Greedy bastard. apparently his mum's taken up knitting. Anyway, 300 to 600 of the big bags of wool from various farms arrive here each day to be sorted. Some of them will be sorted straight away, but a lot of them will be stored to get sorted over the winter months. Which is why you don't want a lot of damp fleeces lying in bags for weeks or months on end. They label each bag so that all the way through the process they know exactly what farm the wool came from. Then fleeces are brought to the sorting tables. Now, to let you understand how specialised this job is, it takes 5 years training, and there are only 45 wool graders in the UK, including the guys in training. To put that in context, Google tells me that 280 astronauts have visited the space station. And most of them don't know their Cheviot from a black-faced Shetland Longhorn Merino. Whereas these guys, well, they know I just made that breed of sheep up. These guys can tell what breed of sheep this wool came from, the approximate age, where the hill sheep or lowland sheep, has the wool sat in a barn for a while, and whether or not the sheep went through stress as the wool was growing. And they do all that just by touching. The guys down in Wales can even tell you if the sheep had a healthy prostrate with their touching. To be fair, it's the guys down in Wales who probably caused the stress in the sheep in the first place. And for those about to point out it would need to be a ram, this ram self-identifies as a ewe. It or them. Joking aside, the first cut is of lamb's wool. Now, remember we separated them out at the farm. Lambs are then left for 18 months before being sheared again. And then these guys can tell which of the 7 categories the wool fits into. For my kilt wool, look for any batch that starts with a number 6. Of course, it's not all for making kilts. Soft lamb's wool will go and make lovely scarves. Harsher or off-colour wool might make carpets, insides of duvets and lots of other things. You get the idea. After it's all sorted, they make up 350 kilogram bales with a big machine that compresses them and packs them. They take samples to send off down to Wales and test for consistency, and the bales go to Bradford for auction. So, who buys the wool at auction, I hear you ask? Well, it's all bought by this wee woman in Crieff. That's right, she's got 4.5 million kilos of wool stored in her shed. As you can imagine, it's all rough and ready. So she starts by carding it. That means she lays it out on a spiky thing. Right now, the wool's fluffy with mixed up fibres going all ways. But she's got another spiky thing, and she pulls one spiky thing across the other spiky thing and draws the woolen fibres into one consistent direction. You see? Ah, now that looks lovely, doesn't it? Well, she takes that and she threads it through onto a spinning wheel. Don't touch a pointy bit. Sorry. It's just, my missus did that once and it was murder getting her out of bed in the morning after that. So, now she draws the thread through the spinning wheel to make wool. Isn't that great? It feels kind of therapeutic. It's the kind of thing that you could watch all day. There's probably a YouTube channel where you can. But this lady is like a swan. Or is it a duck? I'm just saying that when you look below, her feet are going 10 to the dozen to make the wheels spin at the same time as she's feeding wool with her hands at the top. And it's these traditional skills that help her earn a bit of spare cash as a jazz drummer in the evenings. But during the day, she makes all sorts of different wool at different thicknesses, sometimes mixed with linen or other fibres, and she stores it all here in her house made of gingerbread. Sometimes, if she can't get through all the 4.5 million kilos in a week, she farms the work out to bigger industrialised places. But that wasn't very interesting. So, when that's all done, it goes to the weavers. If it wasn't for the weavers, where would you be? These are the guys who made my kilt fabric. And my groovy new Scotland History Tours tartan scarves. More of them later. Get your credit card ready. These guys have their own dye works so they can make gorgeous Ghanaian colours. You see, Scotland History Tours Fummey tartan contains Scottish blue and white and Ghanaian red, gold, green and black. This is where they put the colour into the wool. The thread's washed and dried and put in pots to be dyed, and it comes out in a rainbow. I found out when I was designing the tartan just how much colours matter. It'll be put into yarns, and then some of them will be taken to be used as warp threads. That's the thread that goes long ways. They mount up loads and loads of lengths of really long threads, each selected and calculated to create the right pattern. And once that's mounted, then they'll fire weft thread back and forth and back and forth. How do they do that? Let me show you. Up and down and back and forth, a blue one, then a blue one, then a yellow one, then a white one, a blue one, and a black one, and then a blue one and a red one. Back and forward, back and forward. The weft threading over and under the warp gradually transforms these beautiful red, gold, green, blue and black lines into glorious tartan sets. This is where the real magic happens. Just look at the shuttle's movement as it transforms individual threads into a whole, back and forth, painting the pattern of Fummey plaid. As you watch this warp and weft weave together and mesmerising, I could watch it all day, wonder. You might think that's the end of the process. Oh, how wrong you'd be. Because when this comes off the loom, it goes a 6-mile journey up the road to Schofields. That's where they put on the finishing touches. Now, this is the bit that surprised me most in the whole process. Although not the very first part. That's they wash the fabric. That's to be expected, I would have thought. But then they put it into what they call a hydro extraction unit. Hold on. That's just like a big spin dryer. It's like when you were a bairn and your mum had a twin tub, isn't it? I remember when we stopped having to go to the steamies every week. The twin tub got taken out, the clothes were washed, and then she lifted the drenched cloth out with the tongs and put them in the spinner. Anyway, this is a lot like that. The next bit I had no idea about. So, you've got long runs of tartan cloth. You probably think the tartans are made in a consistent width, but they're not. Whilst the cloth's still damp, it has to be put on a machine to make sure that it's exactly the same width all the way along the cloth. How does the machine do this? Well, 90 metres of cloth is put through the machine at a time. Now, I'm not getting 90 metres of cloth. They join different jobs together at the ends to make one big length. And that's stretched and attached to the hooks either side at the required width, so that this desired width is kept all the way along the cloth. And the hooks that hold the tense stretched cloth are called tenters. That's right. These are tenter hooks, which is why when you're tense or stressed, you're said to be on tenter hooks. That's brilliant, isn't it? I never knew that until now. It goes in higgledy-piggledy and it comes out one consistent width. Next is the dry finishing. The cropping machine takes away surface, hair or tails left in the fabric during the weaving process. Then you go on to the Bailey blower. All the kilting fabric goes through this and steam's pumped through cotton sheets to give the cloth a semi-permanent press. It makes the surface of the fabric flatter and smoother, apparently, to prepare it. Because after this, they're going to decatize it. No, I didn't know either. I won't lie, when Colin told us the next stage was decatizing, I had to ask him what the hell he was talking about. Turns out it means using heat and pressure to alter the protein bonds within the wool structure. Well, why didn't he say? Basically, decatizing is a bit like a sauna for tartan. The tartan is treated with pressurised steam at 130 degrees, steam's pumped inside out and then outside in, and then it emerges as finished tartan. It all gives this fabric a flowing drape, which sounds good, a fine feel, which is essential, and prevents shrinkage. You get that under a kilt on a cold winter's day. Apparently, here what they're talking about is the garment being made. Shrinkage and wrinkling has to be kept to a minimum. But here's another thing I didn't know. The tartan also has to go through a machine to make sure that the lines and boxes are straight. That's right, there's a guy and he stands at this machine as the tartan passes through it, watching by eye to make sure that the lines are perfectly straight. That's mental! I had no idea how much was involved in finishing tartan after it left the weavers. For a kicker, you design a new tartan, and when you do, it has to pass a test. And here is my certificate from the Scottish Register of Tartan showing that the Scotland History Tour's Fummey tartan is an official tartan pattern. How cool's that? I've never passed the test before. And here is my finished tartan. Now, my son and I are going to get kilts made. You probably don't want to buy a kilt, but for a more sensible budget, you could have Scotland History Tour's tartan scarves. What's that, you say? You want to walk down the street wearing a scarf that says you love Scotland and its history, but you're also a member of the wider global family that unites continents? The good news is you can, because these scarves will be on sale in my shop. Now, for a little bit extra, you can have an embroidered scarf like this one, with the words, "Let me tell you a story" on it. I've also added my signature for anyone that's into forgery. If you'd like one of these, then click the link top right or in the description below, or go to www.scotlandhistorytours.co.uk and click the link in the shop. Just in time for Christmas. I say that, but my Patreon members always get first offer, so a lot of them have already gone. So if you want to get some of the few that are left in time for Christmas, you'll have to act quick. They've been so popular that I've put in a new order, but the 12-week lead time means that they won't be here till February. So don't hang about. Advert over. How do they finish the scarves? Well, the tartan has to go to the scarfing department. During scarf production, the weavers weave the cloth in scarf-sized pieces. They also leave a gap in the fabric so you have warp ends. This machine pulls out the warp ends, stretches it and purls it to put a fringe into the scarf. How brilliant's that? Aye, but how do you make it fluffy, I hear you ask? Well, we go to the Moser. Aye, that's a drum with teeth going separate ways so that it pulls the fibre out to make it on a fluffy surface. It's actually teasels. Set in this machine, there are teasels. These are plants that grow with spiny edges. I think these guys get theirs from Spain and Portugal. They're fitted into the drum, and as the tartan scarves roll over the drum, the prickly teasels tease out the fluffiness. The fluffier you want it, the more times you pass it through. Isn't that great? Now, I won't lie, I've wheeked through the stages of making tartan cloth and scarves to try to make this video a manageable length. When all the wonderful folks that I've met in the process started showing me the stages involved in the road that a tartan takes from the sheep in the field to these bad boys in my house, I was amazed. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you might want to own one of these scarves for yourself. Just click the link or go to www.scotlandhistorytours.co.uk. And if you've enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy the video when tartan expert Peter MacDonald and I looked at the history of tartan in the V&A Museum. Or maybe you'd like to see the video where I designed this tartan. A choice of those videos is coming up on screen now. Wear the Scotland History Tours tartan with pride. In the meantime, I'm going to be a lamb alive. Shearing and Rasta.